the fourth module, one thing you remember, like there are two parts will be there. In the first part, they will be asking you about the embedded system application domain specific, right? And regarding the attributes, the quality attributes and operational and non-operational quality attributes. And in the other section, we'll be having the one more question, that is with respect to the hardware and software co-design concepts, right? So there will be one question on this, right? So just I want to tell you about this, any embedded system you design, right? So what are the designing concepts you have to remember here is, so best example I'll just try to give here, like whenever you want to build a house, so what you will be doing, the first you will go to the architecture, right? So what the architecture will do before building a house, he will ask you all the requirements, like whether you want a 2-bedroom or 3-bedroom house. So depending upon that, he will make you a layout, right? So that layout will nothing but here it is acting as a model. So here first he will do the layout, right? He will build a architecture diagram. Then what he will do, then he will ask, suppose you are building a 2-by-2 bedroom, so he will be going your requirements, like how many windows you want and what is the door size, everything, all that he will be asking, and what are the materials required. Based on that, then he will go for implementation part, right? So on the same basis, here in the embedded system, whenever you are designing, first you have to think about the model. You already learned in software engineering the different models like a data flow diagram, right? And finite state machine diagram. So these are the diagrams or the models which are used in the designing of a embedded system also. So here models are nothing but, so based on your requirements and based on your designing, first you have to design a model, right? How your input will pass from one input side to the output side, and how you are going to get the output. Based on that, first model should be designed. Then after designing the model, you have to select the language, right? So whether any embedded system you have designed, there are different components will be there, like sensors, actuators, that will all come into the architecture part. But here like any embedded system, if you are designing the take the example of a washing machine, you are washing the clothes, right? So here the first, what is the data flow model, like how you will give the inputs and how the output will come, and in what language you are going to write the program coding. So here in the selecting the language, you'll be having different languages, C, C++, Java, you know all these languages, right? These are based used in software. And for writing the hardware implementation, they go for Verilog, VHDL programming, right? So once the languages are known, then what they will do, you have to build a implementation part. So architecture is nothing but all the components, hardware components, you have to combine together with your model and the language, right? So this is the whole designing aspect of the embedded system. So first you have to decide the model. Model is nothing but you frame a layout, how you are going to do the designing. To that model, you have to write one particular language. After that, you implement it in the hardware components, the whole thing. So the same thing, it is there in the embedded system, right? So here there are different models are used. So there will be one question on this. What are the different computational models in the embedded system design, right? So there are total 6 models are there. Data flow graph model, control data flow graph model, state machine model, sequential program model, concurrent communication process model, and object oriented model, right? So what is the first one? That is a data flow graph model, right? So here the data flow graph model is what, right? So for any embedded system, if you're designing, what inputs you will give, based on that how the output will be decided, right? So the inputs will be going to with the different phases, and then it will, the output is decided. So first that model should be drawn here, right? So here this data flow graph model is, the input is given and they are given to the different process of the system, and then the output is decided. So here in the data flow graph model, you'll be using certain symbols, like any process, if you want to represent, it will be represented with a circle, and the data flow, it will be represented using the arrows. So the one of the example for this data flow graph model, it is used in embedded system like in DSP, that is a digital signal processor. These are all drawn with the data flow graph model. What is a digital signal processor? I just told you, it basically comes in terms of audio and video applications, right? Whenever we speak, it will be there in the audio, but for the computer will understand. If you want to store in the computer system, it should be converted into the digital format. So there the digital signal processor will come into picture. So in the digital signal processor, this is also one embedded system which will convert analog into digital. But for this, how it will take the input in analog and convert it into digital, the data flow graph, you have to write it in the data flow graph model. So that the DSP designing it is done with the data flow graph model. So we will take one example here. Suppose there is one application is there, or in one of the embedded system you are designing that x equal to a plus b and y equal to x minus c. These are the inputs to one of the embedded system. So for this, you have to draw the data flow graph model. We are not still implemented here. We are just drawing one model, how the input is given to the system and in what way the output is given, right? So here x equal to a plus b. So there are two inputs are there, a and b. So this will be given to the one process. So basically, you know that in the computer architecture, basically the arithmetic logic unit, which will be doing the addition or subtraction, right? So here it is acting as a one process or a one system here, right? So these inputs are given to that process, right? In the then that whatever the output you get, that is x is the output. This x is given as an input to the next output, that is y, right? So next equation is y equal to x minus c. So here c is one more input, and previous output x is also given to this process. Again, the ALU has to do one more processing here, x and c. That inputs are given to the again ALU, and output y is produced. So what is this concept is basically it is telling here is in the embedded system, before implementation part you do, first you write down the layout of your input to the output graph, right? How the input is given and how the output is processed. So it may not be holding for all the models. Again, it depends upon some of the DSP applications, their data flow graph model is used, right? In event driven, that finite state machine diagrams will come. But this example is basically seen in the DSP processor embedded system, right? So here this is how it is represented in the data flow graph model. Model is nothing but the layout. Before building the embedded system, first you draw the layout using certain different models are there. So this is one of them. Next we will see control data flow graph diagram, or the CDFG model, right? Here it also uses the data flow diagram, but one more, conditional statements are included in this, right? So here the conditional statements are represented using the diamond or the decision making element. So we'll try to understand this with an example here, right? So here you just see the control data flow graph model, right? So suppose one embedded system, assume that there is one data flow has to be designed. That is, if the flag is equal to 1, right? What is the output? X equal to a plus b, else the output y equals to a minus b. So this is assume that there is one embedded system we are designing. So where the inputs are like this. If the flag decision is made 1, then the output is x equal to a plus b, else y equal to a minus b. So how the model is built? For the decision making, you use the diamond boxes. So same as in C programming, any decision making statement, you can represent it with the rhombus or the diamond. So here you are representing it in the decision making. If flag is equal to 1, so this is acting as a one node. So basically it will decide if that condition is true, then what you have to do, the process or the system, assume that this is basically this data flow node, the ALU will come into picture, which will be processing the equations here, right? If this condition is true, then what it will do, x equal to a plus b. A is also given as the input, B is also given as the input. Based on that, what output you get? X. So this is what the diagram it is shown here. So X, right? If the flag is equal to 1, if it is false, that means this condition is false, then what the output is? Y equal to A minus B. Here, if it is false, then it has to do the subtraction of the A and B. So A is given here input, B is also given, but only the arithmetic ALU unit has to do the subtraction of the two inputs, and then it is given. So this is one of the different control data flow diagram, that is model it is used in the embedded system. So here I have written one example here. What is the example that is used in is in digital camera, right? So you know what is the use of a digital camera. It is also one embedded system, right? So here basically it takes a pictures, right? So when it takes a picture, actually it is in the analog in nature, but it has to convert it into the digital, right? So again, the data flow graph model, it is basically, it is in the decision making. Again, it will ask you when you are storing the data in the digital camera, right? Again, it will ask whether you want to store in JPEG or BMP or the GIF, right? So there are different formats are there. Based on that format, again, the camera will be doing settings, right? So the control data flow graph model, you can give the real world example here is that designing the digital camera. So basically, first they have to do the layout. They use a model, CDFG model, right? Okay, Vaishnavi is there? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Take the attendance.
Ma'am took.
Send me the snapshot.
Okay, ma'am.
Right? This is control data flow graph model. Okay. So the next one we will see state machine model. So I think you have learned in software engineering the finite state machines. Vaishnavi, have you learned all these models in software engineering? Data flow and control data flow model. You have learned?
No, ma'am.
Software engineering, these concepts are not there. Models, designing models.
Ma'am, we had other models.
Okay, okay.
Water flow model.
Okay. Right. So in the designing also, there are some different models are there which you can use for your embedded system. So next comes the state machine model. Basically, it is an event driven. What is an event driven? Take an example of inserting suppose go to the any vending machine. Suppose if you want a coffee or a tea, right? So that is also one embedded system. Just you have to insert the coin, right? After that, it will ask whether you want a coffee or tea. Based on that, you will press either coffee or tea, and then the coffee either or tea will dispense. So these embedded systems are event driven. Event driven means there is something event is happening, right? Either you insert the coin, then only it will go to the next process. So, so state machine model, basically they are used in such applications, in the control and industrial application. So one example I have given, even ATM machine is also event driven. It will not work unless you don't insert any card. So when you insert the card in the machine, then only it will ask you for the transaction. So it is also one event driven model, right? That is, in that cases, such cases you can go.
Ma'am, we had event driven model.
You had an event driven, that is finite state
Yes,
machine.
ma'am.
Okay. So here event driven models are what? They are working based on certain events. Something has happened and based on that it has to do the actions, right? So in that kind, these models can be used in designing of the embedded system, right? So there are certain terms are there. You have to remember: states, events, actions, and transition. So what is a state? State is a current situation. Suppose you go to the ATM machine. What is your current situation? First, you insert a ATM card. That is one state, right? Then what the event will happen? When you insert, the transaction will happen, right? And based on the certain transaction, action will happen and the amount will get dispensed, right? So there are, so these are the terms: state, event, transition, and the action. So in the finite state model, you remember there are fixed states are there, right? So we'll try to understand this with an example. So in exam, they will ask you design an FSM model, right? So just go through the textbook. They have given 1 or 3 examples. Among that, I have taken 2 in for explanation. The one example I have taken for passenger seat belt warning, right? So this is also one event driven, right? So in that case, they will ask you draw an FSM state model for seat belt warning, right? So here, what is this passenger seat belt warning is? So when you get inside the car, right? So always nowadays, you know that if you don't wear a seat belt in metro cities, there will be a fine, right? So always better to wear a seat than drive, right, to avoid the accidents. So here, this is also one event driven. So automatically when you enter into the car, if you don't wear the seat belt, it will give you an alarm, right? So that model, how you can represent using a finite state machine here is, so there are three states are there. One is alarm off, one is waiting, one is alarm on. So what is this alarm on? So first, when you get inside the car, first you on the key. That means when the ignition key or when the key is started, then what happens? It will wait for 10 seconds or it is timer will be set there. Either 10 seconds or 10 minutes. Depending upon that, if you don't wear seat belt, then it will give you an alarm that it will start beeping. That will show you it on the screen that the seat belt is not wear. Either the alarm can be there or the beeping, or it can be shown on the screen in the car, right? So there are three states. When you get inside the car, first the alarm is off, and what you do, first you put the key on, then it will come into the waiting state. Waiting state is nothing but there the timer will be set. After 10 minutes, if the car driver doesn't wear a seat belt, it is not compulsory that car driver, even the passenger also it comes here, right? Even the backside passenger has to compulsory wear the seat belt. So it will wait for 10 seconds. So here again, so this is these 1, 2, 3, these are the states. Ignition key is on is the event. The event has happened, the passenger has, or the driver has, the driver has put the key on. That time it will go to the waiting state. Then that time again the timer will after 10 seconds or the 10 minutes, it will start doing the alarm on. Alarm on means you have to wear the seat belt, right? So there are these are the three different states how it is shown after the alarm is on, right? After 10 seconds, if you are wearing the seat belt, automatically it will come into the next stage, alarm off, right? So this is what the finite state machine, it is represented with the event. You understood what it is here? Vaishnavi, what is the first one? When you get inside the car, what are the three states?
Ma'am, ignition key will be on, then it will be waiting
Yes.
for 10 seconds.
As an
When the
event.
time expires, alarm will be on.
Understood what is a
Then
state here? State is nothing but what is the current situation is happening. We are thinking, so seeing the current situation is, we are seeing the alarm on or off. So first initially
yes,
the
ma'am.
alarm will be off, then it will go into the waiting period, then alarm on. So these three states will come. So here ignition key on, ignition key off, these are all events, right? So when the alarm is off, so first he will on the key, that time it will come into the waiting state. So in the waiting state, timer will be set. That is the event has happening here. After 10 minutes, if the person or the passenger doesn't wear the seat belt, the alarm will start beeping up. That is, it will come to this state. Suppose after he has wear the seat belt, again it has to come to the which state? Alarm off. You understood this FSM model, right? Okay, we'll go to the next one more example here. This is automatic tea coffee vending machine, right? So if you're designing any vending machine, these are all event driven embedded systems. So there you have to first draw the layout, how your system will work before implementing it. What are the, how the data flows or how the event happens, based on that you have to design your system, right? So what you are doing here, there are 4 states will come, right? What is the state A? Just see here, state A is nothing but, so vending machine first, you will be standing in front of that. Then it will wait for you to put the coin. So that is one state here. Then second state is, after you insert the coin, then it will ask you to the, either you want tea or coffee. So state C is dispensing the tea. State D is the dispensing the coffee. So just state A is nothing but what? So first you are standing in front. This is a current situation. Before putting the coin, you are in this state. Then what is the event is happening? You are inserting the coin. So that after that event is happened, what will happen? It will ask you the user input. It will display your screen there. Either you want coffee or tea. This is one current situation that is happening at that time. Then what you will do? You will put either the input as tea or coffee. If the event you have pressed tea, then it will go to the dispensing tea. So here, if the user has pressed coffee, then what will happen? It will go to which state? It will go to the dispense coffee. What is the event has happened? Coffee button has been pressed and then the coffee will be displayed. After that, again it will come to what? The state A only. Again it will wait for the next coin to be put, right? So similarly, if the user has pressed, if you wanted tea, that is the next state is he has to go to the dispensing of the tea. But when he press the button tea, that is what is the event is happening. Then it will go to the state C. State C is nothing but it will dispense the tea, right? And then after that again it will come back to the original state. So these are the event driven machine. They are basically designed with what? The finite state machine model, right? So there are three more are there which I'll discuss in the next class, right? So any doubt are there, you can ask.